Welcome back. This is a session where you will be asking your questions and we'll try to field them. Before that, I would just like Mr. Jha's comment on one aspect of the Jalan Committee report, which is profits and profiteering. Jalan Committee, in a way, is saying that you guys must have your profits controlled, just enough for you to reinvest in technology, etc. Don't think running a stock exchange is one of those most profitable things, because your job is slightly different. That's where he's coming from. It's very clear. Do you buy that?
I think in the year 2010, if anybody comes up with such an argument, it has to be labeled as very curious. That's all I can say. You see, if you control profits, and Jalan Committee in fact is suggesting that the profit should be linked to the 10-year G-Secs, and it should have a bearing on the net worth of the company. Now, what is going to happen if you do that? Immediately, anybody who wants to invest will back out. See, why will any investor invest if his rates are going to, return are going to be capped by the yield on 10-year G-Secs? The second point is, why will any talented person get into stock exchanges? Because he will know that he's not going to.
Basically, he wants the status quo to continue.
Absolutely,
in a way.
Absolutely. That's why I said right in the beginning that this report is basically designed to perpetuate the monopoly that exists today in stock exchanges. You see, if you club all these
deep
points,
sense of disappointment that it's a status quo.
See, because if you club all the points, as you said, profitability, you look at in fact, the committee also attempts to micromanage the salaries of the employees. You know, that's a recommendation also, that the employees should not be given any variable pay. There should be only fixed pay.
The public utility concept. He wants the stock
totally like the government structure. You know, that your performance makes no difference whatsoever.
So we are really looking at two different. One train going via Faridabad, one train going via Ghaziabad. In a way, there is no meeting ground. The report has been accepted in toto or thrown out in toto. It almost looks like that. Anyway, we have some questions coming in, and we'll see what these people are asking. There is Mansi Kurana from Chandigarh, and she wants to know, what is the recourse I have if a broker dupes me? Is there any provision for blacklisting brokers? She is coming down to very basic realities.
No, actually, there is a mechanism for redressal of these grievances through the stock exchange. You know, the tripartite sort of discussions.
The arbitration mechanism.
Yeah, there is the stock exchange, the broker, and the person who has a grievance.
Yeah.
They can, there is a mechanism for redressal of that. Basically, what it involves is that the consumer gets in touch with the exchange or with the depository, and then they in turn get in touch with the broker, put the two together, and try to resolve
the system works actually.
Yeah,
I mean, people have got redressal.
Yes, absolutely.
Another related point, maybe what she's trying to ask is that if private ownership comes in, that type of thing, will that get jeopardized? Can you expect the private exchange to?
No, see, as I said earlier, both exchanges, BSE and NSE, are private. Okay. They are totally private. There is not one. In fact, it's very interesting when one of the exchanges, when NSE was asked, as to in the Right to Information Act, somebody wanted to get some details. They told the government, they told the RTI that they are totally private exchange. We are not covered by the RTI.
So it suited them at that time. My God. There is KP Indresan from Chennai. He wants to know, Mr. Vijay, I feel there is a monopoly by NSE and by big brokers. All small people are being wiped out. Is my understanding correct?
Well, I think the figures probably bear out what he's saying.
Yeah, the wiping out theory.
Because there is no competition. 96% or 97%. I believe it's now closer to 97%.
Yes, because
so
There's one other question. I think he's sort of saying it. Mr. Subhasish Roy from Kolkata. What is the situation in US and UK, for example? Is the stock exchange a monopoly there, or is there competition between exchanges, or are they both regulators and infrastructure providers in these countries?
See,
it's interesting.
No, it is. They are firstly in the US and in UK, exchanges are listed. There is competition, there is more than one exchange. So therefore there is competition, and not more than one exchange in the sense that we understand it here, 97 and 3%. There is healthy competition. In fact, if you look at the US, till about 10 years ago, the New York Stock Exchange was something like what the Jalan Committee is now recommending our exchanges should become. That is, it should be privately held, it should not, you know, basically be controlled. It should be basically controlled by a few people, that kind of thing, not be listed.
So the thing is that
then about 10 years ago they listed, and the change in the New York Stock Exchange, tremendous
so
improvement.
we could say that it is good we go towards the US, UK type of thing. It has worked in those economies. Let's not forget it, that those are very well developed markets, well regulated markets. Thank you very much, Mr. Jha. We are now completely running out of time. This is a show which could have gone on for a long time because the issues are so fundamental and so important to investors. Hope you enjoyed watching the show as much as we did producing it. Thank you very much, Mr. Jha. I really appreciate you coming over and being so frank about it. And this is P.N. Vijay signing off from the Bloomberg UTV studios in New Delhi. Bye-bye.